Good morning or good afternoon. I am so glad to be chatting with you just for a couple minutes here today in our second iteration of the Heaterside chats. In this chat, I plan to go through kind of what's expected of us this week, what you should expect tomorrow on Tuesday, and then what some things will be looking like when we get our learners actually on Friday for 7th grade, and we'll have some in the building on Thursday, some of our new students. And so I'm very, very excited about this week. I want to start too with an apology and just say I want to get these out on Friday. That clearly didn't happen. It's a process. I will do my best to get them out on Friday or Saturday. This one just took a little bit longer to kind of put together, and so my apologies there. I also want to start with just saying thank you. The process that we started last week in planning advisory and kind of thinking about the needs of our learners was so interesting to hear the different opinions and viewpoints that all of you came to the table with. And I'm really, really, really excited to continue the beautifully messy democratic process of designing and developing and really meeting our learners where they're at, because that truly is, it's our forward. It is where we live every single day. The part about it being messy too, I just wanted to point out about, this is all going to be a process, and it is every single year. And so I just so appreciate anyone who comes to the table with the idea that we will try things, we will do things. Just because we had success with them or failures with them in the past does not mean that those things are going to be successes or failures in the future. And so just having an open mind and being willing to really meet our learners where they're at as they come into the doors, we definitely are probably going to need to adjust and continue that process. I talked to the kids early in the year oftentimes about one of the most, one of the original political theorists, Machiavelli. And obviously there's a whole lot to unpack with Machiavelli, but in short, he's a dude who gets kicked out of a city in Italy in the mid 1400s, and he wants to win the graces of the leader in Florence back. And so he writes a book called The Prince, and it is all about, basically it's a manual of how to be a leader and how to go about leading a city. And one of the things that I love that he writes, because there's a lot of horrifying stuff in it, but one of the things that I really love that he writes in it is that if you are a leader or someone who is a part of a leadership group, and you are motivated by ends, he calls it living in the kingdom of ends versus living in the kingdom of means, which is the process. He says that if you're motivated by ends, if you are living in a system of ends, you are destined to fail. It's those who live in the kingdom of means and the kingdom of process that are destined to succeed. And that process is often ugly and frustrating and sometimes slow. I heard that in our meeting too about like, why can't we just do things now? And we definitely are going to implement things as quickly as we can, but there definitely is a process that we'll go through. So thank you for your patience, thank you for your participation, and thank you for listening to my mini little history lesson there. We on Tuesday, so tomorrow, are going to get back into the pool with looking at how advisory is going to be planned, both in advisory structure during the week and how advisory will look for the first couple days, so Friday, and then when we come back on Tuesday. And so I will go ahead, I listened to what you said, I put together some thoughts in an email along with this, and then I will go ahead and present a smattering of options for us, and we can kind of look and adjust at those things. If anyone wants to include their own proposal or ideas for what a week in advisory can look like, that is awesome too, and you're more than welcome to do that. That's a part of my apology for getting this out a little bit later, in that it obviously doesn't give you adequate time to really think that through, and so I'm sorry for that. The other part that I'll put together is kind of a rough outline for what the first week or so looks like for both advisory and maybe for some of the core time. And so we can spend time thinking about the advisory side of that on our meeting on Tuesday, and then when the core team meets, later, we can talk more about like the kind of structures and things that we'll need to facilitate for our incoming 7th graders. So you can expect that on Tuesday. Thank you so much for the family notes. It's been so cool to see those start to be filled in. I know I talked last week to Sarah Holzum, and she had iterated that they're just really helpful because oftentimes we don't know what every single learner has done over the summer and the things that have changed, and so oftentimes those notes are not only just informative to our teaching team, but to any single person who interacts with our learners. And so thank you. You don't need to be overly descriptive in them, but at the same time, writing some notes after you have those meetings and those things are fresh is very helpful. I know that I need to get my notes off of their paper that I wrote them down into the form as well. So thank you to those who have started that process or are mostly finished with that process. And then the final piece is on Thursday, when we have a chunk of time in the late morning with our new 7th graders, which it sounds like there's a large group of them, almost 20. We are going to be playing games with them and just kind of welcoming them into the building. If you haven't been a part of that process, make sure, if you're confused about it at all, to check in with me. I can help clarify what that looks like. It's a lot of fun. It's basically an hour that we're going to get to spend with the new students and basically just kind of get to know them, talk to them, show them the building, and then have them ready so that when they walk in the door on Friday, they'll be a little bit more comfortable and acclimated to their new home at Savannah Oaks. And so thank you for any of you who are going to participate in that, and I can get more information out as we know. So that kind of wraps it up. We have those pieces that we're going to be planning. Your to-do list here, as you can see here. Family notes, keep with those family contact meetings. Make sure that you're doing that. You have a lot of things in the background that you're probably doing, like the bloodborne pathogen and all sorts of other trainings. So obviously those from an administrative level, keep doing those. But from a 7th grade team meeting or team standpoint, family notes, and then get ready to get messy because we are going to continue to plan and think. And I just so appreciate folks who are coming in with an open mind and are willing to kind of listen and think critically and share their thoughts on the many different discussions and processes that we will be having in the near future. And so thank you. Have a great Monday afternoon, and I will see you on Tuesday, tomorrow. Take care.